All right. Welcome, 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 everyone. My name is Karen Mayfield Felton, owner and founder of Feet Planted LLC, and we are here at the Teen Empowerment Summit. I am here to introduce you to someone who is near and dear to my heart. The theme of this event is a first class flight to a phenomenal future. I've got my airplane in the background, and I've got a pilot sitting in front of you that I can't wait to introduce you to. He is family. He is my cousin, Mr. William Sheriff. Say hi, say hi. How you doing?
Doing well. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, Karen. And I love you too.
I love
And
you
I,
too. I love keeping it in the family. One
yes,
of the greatest pleasures of my life is one of my passions is introducing students to phenomenal men and women who are doing the thing that they may have dreamed of. And so, with the theme for the summit, we're talking about a phenomenal flight. I had to have you and interview you because you are a pilot. You are a pilot,
yes,
and we're going to get
yes.
into all the things that you've done in your career and just really chop it up. But before we get started, I just want you to introduce yourself and tell the audience about what led you to even be interested in becoming a pilot.
Okay, that's a great question. First of all, thank you for having me. Excited to be here, especially to talk to some folks about flying that folks that may not have even thought about flying as a career. So it's always exciting to me to be able to share my experience. But quite simply, I got interested in flying back when I was back in the 70s. I flew with my father, Willie Sheriff. He was a private pilot. And at the time, he wanted to be an airline pilot, but at the time, there were no black airline pilots yet. So he did pursue his passion as a private pilot. So I used to go flying with him in small airplanes, little 172s, which hold four people, 152s hold two people. And we would fly all around Boston, Cape Cod, and that was just our bonding moment. So we'd fly on the weekend. So that really introduced me to aviation and took the mystery out of, the possibilities of flying. So we do that quite often. And it wasn't until, oh gosh, I was probably in high school when we had a career day and we had a airline pilot come speak to us at our career day, and he looked kind of like me. He was my color. He looked like me. I had never ever seen a black airline pilot ever before. Even though my father was a pilot, he wasn't an airline pilot, so I was never introduced to black airline pilots. So anyway, my guidance counselor, she said, "Hey, Will, you want to come with me to walk our presenter into the classroom?" And I said, "Oh my God, yes." It was quite an honor. And there he was in uniform, kind of like I'm dressed right now in uniform, my color. And it was like walking with an angel, And that at that moment I realized, wow, this is exactly what I wanted to do as a career. So that definitely is what inspired me to become an airline pilot. I've tinkered with, I've always been intrigued by anything transportation. So I wanted to be a police officer, not to fight crime, but to drive the police car. I wanted to be a fighter, not to fight fires, but to drive the fire truck. Bus driver, I wanted to drive the train system in Boston. Anything transportation, I was always uh, uh, drawn towards. But once I saw that black airline pilot, that was it. It was sealed. Now I just had to figure out how to go about becoming a pilot, an airline pilot.
I love your story. One, because you needed to see someone actually do it. Um,
Absolutely.
One of my
Mhm.
favorite phrases is, I used to say this all the time, is that you need to see it to be it. And so
See it to be it. Yes.
you actually had Uncle Willie. So
Yes.
I know who he's talking about. He was the uncle that flew planes. I mean, so imagine being
Yes.
a kid and having a black man in your family that knew how to fly a plane. And then
Mhm.
imagine having a cousin who flew a plane. And then imagine being on an American Airlines flight and the video comes on where they're strapping you in and you see the face of your cousin in the video. Y'all just can't imagine what that feeling is like to be able to be so proud. And so I just want to share now that I'm extremely proud of you and your accomplishments, not just because of what you've done, but who you embody. Because when young
Yeah.
kids, boys and girls of any color, but especially those that are brown, they see you. I mean, my gosh, they have something to be proud of.
Yeah.
Love it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it's funny because to add to that, I was very fortunate in that my dad was a pilot and I got to fly with him. And quite frankly, as a young 7-year old, 8-year-old flying with their dad, I thought every black kid was doing that. And I didn't realize not every black kid in the city was doing that or the suburbs anywhere. It was so unique, such a unique opportunity. So I didn't realize that until much later in life. But like you said, if you see it, you can be it. And that's what happened when I saw my first black airline pilot. Very important. Very important.
You were a pilot probably before you even got to college. So what was it like
Yes.
to get to where you are now as a pilot for a major airline?
That's another great question. So we're talking STEM here. Pretty smart individuals, right? Pretty smart individuals in this class. I'm going to speak mostly to the people that struggle in school, the people that might not get that, 4.0 grade point average or 3.5 grade point average. Because when I graduated from college, I had a 2.0 grade point average. So I'm talking to you folks out there because I don't want you to get discouraged from anything that you're trying to achieve because you can really do it. I mean, I'm a testament of that because my education, even though I was flying with my father, the actual flying part was the easy part, and that's the part I love. But then there's the educational part of it as well. So in high school, I did a lot of research in high school as far as how to become an airline pilot. I even this book here. I don't know if you can see it. I got this book from my high school. Can you see it? All right. I got this book from my high school career center. They're probably still looking for it. Anyway, this is how to become an airline pilot. So I had this book, and I still have that book. Um, I did anything I can do, any research I can do just to figure out how to make it happen. But when it came to education, I struggled in reading, I struggled in math, I struggled in science, technology, engineering, and math. I struggled in STEM. Everything STEM was a struggle. Um, so I had tutors. It was very difficult, tutors, but I never gave up. My grades weren't that stellar, but I wanted to be an airline pilot so bad, so badly that I just never gave up. And fortunately, I didn't have many people tell me that I could not do it. And I think that was really important because that could have been something that derailed me. So I always thought I can do it. I dreamed of it. It was a passion. I got through it, high school, and I got into a college that specialized in aviation called Daniel Webster College, which is in Nashua, New Hampshire. It's a 4-year program with a degree in aviation management and flight operations. So, in addition to all of your flight training, so you'll start out zero flight time, you'll get all your licenses and ratings. So, you'll get your private pilot license. That's your first license you'll get. You'll transition to an instrument rating. Then you'll get your commercial license, followed by a multi-engine rating. And then a lot of people get their flight instructor certificate. That's what I did. And that allows you to teach people how to fly. So I was an instructor. At that capacity, not only was I teaching people, but I was really sharpening my craft as far as learning the theories and all the mechanics behind aviation, because you learn so much more when you start teaching it, right? So I was a flight instructor for approximately 3 years at Daniel Webster College, building up my flight time because the goal was still to become an airline pilot. Once I reached the minimum threshold to start applying to the smaller airlines, I applied to American Eagle Airlines, which is now Envoy. Probably heard of Envoy Airlines. So I applied to American Eagle Airlines after 3 years as an instructor, and I got hired. They they hired me. Um, so I went through their training, and because it was airline specific, flight specific, unlike college, I did pretty well when it came to just airline stuff. When it comes to stuff I'm interested in, even if there's math involved, even if there's science, technology, or engineering involved, I'll figure it out. I'm with it. So my grades actually were better when I was actually doing the aviation stuff, concentrated. So I excelled in the program, the training program at American Eagle. I was at American Eagle for 3.5 years and then finally got enough time to apply to the major airlines. I applied to Delta, United, and American, and I actually got hired at Northwest Airlines. Probably you and me only know about Northwest Airlines, Karen, but I got hired at Northwest Airlines. And then right after that, American Airlines gave me a conditional job offer. So I took that because that was my dream airline. That was my dream airline. So that's just a little bit about the path that I took to becoming an airline pilot.
No, that is really, really, really good. I'm going to change our view here so we can both be on the screen. You said
Mhm.
a few things that I want to key in on. First and foremost, you struggled in school.
Yeah,
All
struggled.
of us did. And so I'm
Yeah,
so thankful that you're going to share with the audience that it's not easy and
yeah,
but you persisted. You
yes.
persisted because you
Hmm.
knew what you wanted
Yeah,
and you were able to accomplish um, not just your goal in the 4-year program, you then were able to land a job
yeah,
and then continue on in your career. So the
yeah,
question that I want you to
yeah.
answer real quick is you mentioned Envoy.
Hmm.
So where are you now, and how long have you been a pilot at the status you are now? Are you
Yeah.
still a pilot? Are you only instructing? Talk to us about what you're doing right now.
Okay, so I'm at American Airlines now, and I've been here a total of 31 years. I'm a captain on the 737, and I'm also what's called a check pilot. So I'm back into flight instructing. I'm back into instructing again. So as a check pilot, I work with brand new pilots that get hired at American Airlines, and I will work with them once they get far enough into their training. They'll eventually start working with check pilots in the simulators. So I'll spend a month working with our new pilots in the simulators. I also work with pilots that aren't new, but they're transitioning to be a captain. So I'll work with them in the simulators as well. So I'll spend a month of my time working in the simulator. We have simulators for the 737, simulators for the 777, the 787, and the Airbus fleet. The simulators are huge mock flight decks. They're on hydraulics, engineering. It's all engineering. It's all technology. It's that whole STEM thing. Like you could be an engineer and learn how to program those simulators and updates to programs, and there's so much technology behind it. But anyway, when you walk in the 737 simulator, it's the same scale as the flight deck of the real airplane, and the graphics are just incredible. Before you even touch an airplane the first time, you're going to spend about, oh, you'll be in the sims probably about, you spend about 10 lessons in the simulator, learning how to take off, learning how to fly the sim, learning how to manage all the systems. You'll get some practice landing it before you actually touch the simulator. So you'll work with me, people like me who are check pilots. Um, so when I'm not in the simulator building, which is located here in Dallas, Texas, I'll spend a month in the airplane flying with students. So I'll fly with brand new first officers that are done with their simulator training. They require about 25 hours of flight with a check pilot like me before we let them loose and go solo. If you're a brand new captain, you've been a first officer for a while, you'll always start out as a first officer at American Airlines. We don't hire right into the captain's position, and everything is seniority based. So you get hired as a first officer, and then every year, people retire, you move up in seniority, and you'll have an opportunity to bid to be a captain. So the captain flies in the left seat. So people that are transitioning to becoming a captain, they have to go through training too. So they'll work with me. I'll work with them in the sims and also in the airplane until they get to about 25 hours. And then we toss them the keys, brand new captains, to take your loved ones all around the place.
That is so cool. I love the progression of the training that you get because, again, you got our lives in your hands. So I
Yeah,
love it. I love the
yeah.
detail and I love the process. And I am very excited that you don't just become the student, the flyer. Now you're the flyer and the teacher, like
And the teacher.
you're
Yeah,
training. So
exactly.
those flying the friendly skies, just know if you're American Airlines, they're probably trained by Mr. William Sheriff.
That's right.
I think that
That's
is
right.
super, super, super cool. Next question I have for you, sir, is about the technical advancements. I mean, you've had a tremendous 30 year career, which I think is bonkers because we grew
Uh-huh.
up together. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, literally,
Yeah.
30 years
Yeah.
is a long time. What
Yeah.
advancements have you seen in aviation that you can share with the students and the parents in the audience that you think that they ought to know about?
Well, a lot of the advancements that I've seen as far as the airplane specific are just generally the technology in the airplane is more advanced. Um, for example, when I started on the at American Airlines, I was on what's called the 727, and the 727 was very antiquated. It's like getting in a, I don't know if you've ever gotten into a 1985 Chevrolet, where you have a manual radio that you have to push the dial in to turn the radio on. You have a cassette player, everything's manual. You have to roll down your windows, it goes that far back, those airplanes. The radios, they're not digital on the old airplanes. They weren't digital. So you had that needle, that little scale, that graduated scale to set your radio station. Those are the airplanes that I started on, and the technology has been incredible. So now in the flight deck, our navigation systems are much more advanced using GPS and much more accurate. So instead of navigating from California to New York using physical nav aids that are located throughout the country, we used to have to navigate from nav aid to nav aid to get across the country. So our flight plan would look like a zigzag all the way from LA to New York. These are on the old airplanes. With the new airplanes with GPS, we can put in direct routing and we can see it visually displayed on a computer. So that's been a huge advancement as far as the airplane technology and the systems that are required to be updated and managed, that the people, the engineers that actually update all that information, they're aviation engineers. So that's also something that a position that might be of interest to somebody. So advancements with the airplane, fuel efficiencies, better engines, more quiet, faster. Our paperwork has been a huge advancement. We used to carry around, when I got hired, what's called as a kit bag. We had a kit bag, is a black leather bag, and in that kit bag we had all of our manuals. We'd have maybe 6 or 7 big manuals that we had to carry with us. And then we had maps. We had these charts that we had to carry as well as we're going from LA to New York. We'd always have charts open, and we'd have, notice in my shirt, I don't have any highlighters. We used to carry highlighters in our shirts because we always mark up our maps just to make sure we're going to the right nav aid and so forth. So that's something that has disappeared because we have iPads now. The iPads contain all of our manuals and all of our charts. And all I have to do is press update and zing, it all updates. That's a huge change in technology, you know. Um, Airports are more high tech where we go. Their ability to hook up and service the airplane is faster. The airports are more just, some of the airports are like malls. They're like malls. You can go shopping in the airport, so it's a much better experience for the customer. So it has dramatically changed for the better, I think.
I'm listening to all of the advancements, and I counted 4 to 5 separate career paths, not just the pilot, the engineering behind all of the bells and whistles in the cockpit,
Yes.
aeronautical engineering,
Hmm.
the people that actually work on the planes. I mean, it's a
Hmm.
whole, the plane is a whole system itself.
Yes.
And so you've
Yes.
got people that are working mechanically, working the
Yes.
IT. I
IT.
love
Hmm.
the fact that you talk about iPads because I remember just to do a little bit of family story. I remember we had a reunion and you popped in, and I remember you had a bunch of highlighters. I remember that, and it's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
funny that you mentioned that because I
Yeah.
always wondered, what do you need a highlight for? And you had them like on your chest.
I was in
So
uniform. Yeah.
is
I
your
had them on me.
uniform. That
Yeah.
is your uniform.
Yeah.
That is amazing. So we
Yeah.
have definitely grown and seen a lot of advancements in technology, and there are more to come. So, folks in the audience, the next generation, I mean, my cousin can list all of the aircraft by numbers. We need you to build that next iteration, that next system that's going to take us into the future. What words of encouragement can you leave with our students and parents if they're interested in pursuing aviation or any of the other disciplines that we talked about related to aeronautical aviation and all the things?
Um, Good question. That's I would say don't tell yourself no. Don't talk yourself out of something that could actually be a gem for you if you just stick with it, do the research, try and see yourself in that role, try to ask questions of other people because you never know how powerful the network is. You may know somebody that is a dispatcher at an airline, but they don't know you're interested because you've never asked. Um, you may know somebody that is an aviation mechanic, airplane power plant mechanic. So start with your family because you may have someone in your family that has a connection with someone that you're trying to do. But yeah, be very intentional and don't tell yourself no. It's probably the big thing. I see a lot of people that have an interest in aviation, but they thought, oh, it's too expensive. It won't. So they don't do the research to see how they could actually do it. Or someone has told them, oh, you'd never be a pilot or you'd never be a dispatcher because your grades are so poor. Don't ever fall for that. Please don't fall for that because I am here talking to the people who don't have the 4.0 and the 3.5. This 2.0 person made it, and that's because I didn't listen to the noise. You know, um, I said I'm going to apply to American Airlines, even with my 2.0. I said if they give me an interview, they're going to like me. Now I had to do the work. I had to get interview prep. I had to do all the work. When I was at American Eagle, I had to hone my craft. I had to, polish the penny, if you will. I had to be the best pilot I could be. So when they did give me the interview opportunity, I just put it on them. They couldn't say no. And guess what? They said yes. You know. So yeah, don't talk yourself out of it and be very intentional. Also, I don't know how you relate to things now. It's a different generation. I know for me, I wanted to be an airline pilot so badly, and I just dreamed about it. We didn't have technology like we do now. You can always Google search or chat GPT or YouTube airline pilots. There are organizations like the Organization of Black Aerospace Professionals, obap.org, that I highly encourage you to look at because that's an organization that talks about everything STEM. It talks about how to become a dispatcher. There are scholarships, opportunities for you to network. It's one of the organizations that inspired me to become an airline pilot as well, because that was my first time seeing so many Black airline pilots at the annual convention. Females, males, different shades of brown. I had never seen so many in one room. So, Organization of Black Airline Pilots. And then there's also SOS, Sisters of the Sky. They're a group with a group of black and brown female pilots, and they do the same thing. They have scholarships and they encourage young women, young ladies to get into the career, not just flying, but they also have a network that involves dispatch, science, everything STEM. They have a network there. So because I gave you those two websites, dig in, explore, try and dream. I was going to say before, my dreams without technology consisted of I wanted to be an airline pilot so bad. I went into my dad, Uncle Willie's closet, and he had his jacket. He had the jacket that he got married in. This is his tuxedo jacket. And I took some chalk and I put four lines. You see my lines? I'll do like this. I took the chalk and I drew four stripes on the jacket, there and there. And I would put that jacket on and I drew some wings too on that jacket. I was maybe 14, 15. And I would wear that jacket and I'd see myself as an airline pilot. And I saw myself. I would just envision it. I just knew this was going to happen. So if you want to be a doctor, get yourself a white apron or whatever and put your name on there. Doctor, whoever you are, Doctor Mary Smith, if that's your name, MD, or if you want to be a dermatologist, put in dermatologist. Put that on there and just hold it, wear it, dream it, be it. You know, you see the old stethoscope on sale at some flea market or something. Buy that stethoscope and then just clean it first, and then just wear it. You know, you be it. So don't. It's not ridiculous to actually create that for yourself at home and just kind of live in that. And oh, that's what drove me. That's what drove Mr. 2.0 me. So hopefully that answered your question. I know I rambled a little bit.
No, you didn't ramble. You're inspiring me, man. I want to be a pilot.
Come on.
You got me wanting to get in the
Come
cockpit.
on. Come
Come
on.
on. I love it. I absolutely love it. Thank you so very much for imparting such wisdom to our audience at our Teen Empowerment Summit
Yeah.
hosted by Embody.
Yeah.
This is a first class flight, folks.
Yeah.
This is a ticket to your future.
Yes.
Parents and students, if you're out there, there will be information, a bio about William Sheriff, his journey. If you are interested in reaching out to him, I'm talking to the parents right now.
Yes.
Please make sure
Mm-hmm.
you stop by and see me. I will have a packet for you. I
Mm-hmm.
will have the links that were mentioned so
Mm-hmm.
that you have all the information that you need for your child or your friend or a neighbor to have a first class flight to a phenomenal future
Yeah.
as a pilot, as an engineer, or whatever it is that they want to be.
Yeah.
Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It is great to be in your bloodline, sir.
Oh, it was a pleasure. Likewise. Thank you so much, everyone. All the best.
Thank you.